I am from Nelspruit in South Africa, and I am currently in Washington, D.C., in the
Fantastic.
USA.
You are an au pair, correct? You au pairing in the United States right now.
I am an au pair in the United States currently.
Absolutely fantastic.
I have now been in the United States for a little over a year and a half, um, and I've done it with two families so far.
Fantastic, hey? A year and a half. Have you been home in that time?
Nope, not at all.
Gee whiz. And do you communicate with your parents quite often, and how do you do so?
Not as often. I communicate with them at least once a month, but that's by choice. And I do that via Skype, sometimes phone calls, but whatever works at the moment.
Fantastic. Now, before you decided to become an au pair, you obviously got some childcare experience. And may I ask, what inspired you to become an au pair, and what sort of drove you towards au pairing in the United States?
What drove me towards au pairing is the idea of being able to take a gap year before going to university and doing it with something that I love because you can take any kind of gap year, but because I knew my passion from all other things were kids, I knew I could travel and combine my passion at the same time. And those are actually two of my biggest passions, traveling and kids. So it was perfect when the agency came to our school and introduced themselves. It just clicked immediately that that's what I wanted to do.
How did you find the OVC service?
My agent was extremely helpful. She was with me through the whole process. She made it very clear. She was very straightforward and very truthful about everything. She didn't make it sound too sweet, but she was also she didn't sugarcoat it because people think they just come here and lay over and do nothing when it is really a job. And she also gave us more of the gave me more of the reality of it, where it is fun, it is a good opportunity, it is a great way to travel safely and to work. So she was great about it, and the agency was amazing.
That's really good news. And when you arrived in the United States, you know that the OVC, we partner with a very big company and well-established company called Au Pair Care. And how
Yeah.
did you find their service when you arrived? Did you feel that you were quite secure and that you were working with an organization that was well established and going to look after you?
For myself, yes, I did. Au pair care was great about everything. Um, they didn't make me feel like I came into the United States and I was alone. The transition between going from overseas into au pair care was really smooth and consistent.
Did you find the orientation intimidating? Was it useful? Did it prepare you for some things that you weren't prepared for? Maybe.
The orientation was for me a good way to meet other people, other au pairs around.
Right.
I don't feel like they really prepared me for anything that I didn't know because I have already interviewed so much with the family that I was going into. And that family was very informative. They didn't leave out anything. They didn't, um, I didn't go with expectations that things will be too easy. And so going into the orientation for me was more just a way to smoothly come into the country and feel safe with other au pairs around me. And also the people that work for au pair care over there, they were great about everything as well. They were helpful, and I mean, I could use the word helpful, but that's just for lack of a better word. They they really made me feel like if something were to go wrong or if I didn't know how to do something, that I always had someone to contact and some way to go around it. There are better ways to go around things. So they opened, um, they broadened my way of thinking when it came to looking after kids and being in different situations with the kids and with the family overall.
Fantastic. Dalree, when you finished up with the orientation, how did you get to your family? What was organized for you?
My host mom came to pick me up.
Did she, hey? And I think some of the other au pairs are offered aeroplane tickets if they're flying to the other side of the country and things like that. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Yeah.
that is correct.
Now, you mentioned that you've been with two families. If I may ask, what was the transition and what made you decide to change families?
I'm someone that loves change, and I wanted a completely 360 degrees change from what I had to what I wanted. So with the previous family, it was a suburban life, four kids, in Philadelphia, very different to where I am now, to Washington, D.C. And I wanted to see a different part of the country, and I wanted to experience what it would be like without having um, four kids. And four kids wasn't a challenge for me. Instead, having one child now is more of a challenge because I am more of your go, go, go,
Gee, that is
busy
amazing,
person.
hey? So,
Yeah.
sorry, me asking, how old are you now, Dore?
I am only 20 years old.
Gee whiz. And that is amazing. So you got over there and your first task was to look after four kids.
Four kids.
Good,
Best time of my life.
that's enough to terrify anybody. Goodness gracious. With the actual job of au pairing, what did you find the hardest thing to get used to?
The biggest challenge for me was when it came to the childcare is because these ages were from ages 2 to 8 at that time. Being able to look after all four of them at the same time wasn't hard, but giving them activities at the same time with only me being the only person there. Of course, the activities differ so much from ages 2 to 8. That was my biggest challenge. But everything else, the homesick, the just adjusting, it went as expected. I was a little bit homesick, but that's normal in the first week, or some people get homesick later on. For me, it was in my first week. And after my area director stepped in and she came into the household, she's amazing. Um, and I felt confident that I can do it. She reassured me of what is the job that's going to be done and what I'll be doing, and what the year will might be like for me. And after that, it was smooth sailing.
Fantastic. A lot of people and a lot of au pairs want to know about the money. Are you able to get by on the stipend that you get? And tell us a little bit about your expenses and just getting through the week.
You can get more than what you need with the stipend. It is only 195 or $196. Um, I did get $200 every week, and it just comes up to how you decide to spend your money and what type of person you are. I've saved up most of my money and I went on a number of trips. I've seen almost 14 states in the United States, and I chose to use my money on experience rather than things. You will have to spend money on little things like buying your own toiletries, or sometimes you want to take yourself out for food, but there's more than enough money to do those things, go out with friends, and save up for vacation if you use your money wisely. And even for people that aren't so wise with their money, you can still make it work because it is enough to get by and to save. To